Tuesday, 11:47 p.m. Bed. Phone glow on your face. You scroll their profile. Again. Third time this week. You tell yourself it's nothing, just curiosity. But your chest tightens. Breath catches. Something stirs. What if I told you your soulmate isn't someone you're waiting for? They're someone you've already met, and you dismiss them. Most people miss their divine connection because they're looking for fireworks when God sends peace. They're chasing butterflies when heaven sends stillness. They want the movie moment, but God writes in quiet chapters. Studies show 60% of couples knew each other as friends, first before romance. God often hides your soulmate in plain sight. Today, 5 signs you've already met your soulmate, but didn't realize it. And sign number 4 will shock you, because it's the one most people confuse with rejection. If you've been praying for love, wondering if it will ever come, this might be your answer. Not someday, already. Let me show you what you've been missing. Sign 1, the unexpected peace. You're with them. No drama, no games, no analyzing every text. Just calm. Your shoulders drop. Jaw unclenches. Something inside you exhales, like you've been holding your breath for years and didn't know it. And here's where most people mess up. You think, if they were the one, I'd feel more excitement, more passion, more something. This feels too easy, too boring, too safe. Stop. That something you're waiting for? It's trauma dressed as chemistry. Your nervous system learned to associate love with chaos, anxiety with attraction, drama with devotion. Real love doesn't feel like a roller coaster. It feels like solid ground. Not because it's boring, because it's healthy. Your soul recognizes safety before your mind catches up. Here's the truth nobody tells you. A traumatized heart confuses peace with boredom. It mistakes calm for lack of passion. It rejects what's healthy because healthy feels foreign. Think about it. Every relationship that gave you butterflies, how did it end? The ones that kept you guessing, checking your phone, losing sleep. Where are they now? Exactly. Isaac didn't choose Rebekah. Genesis 24. A servant prayed, and God answered before the prayer finished. No dating apps, no chemistry tests, no fireworks, just divine alignment and quiet confirmation. And their marriage built a lineage that changed history. When was the last time you felt truly at peace with someone? Not excited, not anxious, at peace. That feeling you dismissed as not enough. That might be everything, but peace alone isn't enough. Sign 2 reveals something even stranger, and it's the reason most people reject their soulmate completely. Sign 2, the uncomfortable growth. They said something simple, honest, and it hit different. Your jaw clenched, stomach tightened. You wanted to defend yourself, explain, justify, maybe even walk away. Not because they were mean, because they were right. Here's the lie you believe. If they really loved me, they wouldn't challenge me. They'd accept me exactly as I am. Love means never making me uncomfortable. Wrong. That's not love. That's enablement. A soulmate isn't someone who lets you stay broken. They're someone who loves you enough to reflect what you can't see. Before you say, I don't need someone to change me, pause. That's your ego protecting your wounds. God uses people to refine us. Iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27:17. Not iron comforts iron. Sharpens. A God-ordained connection doesn't leave you comfortable in your dysfunction. It disrupts it, exposes it, challenges it. That person who made you question yourself, who said the thing nobody else had the courage to say, who held up a mirror when you wanted validation. They might not have been attacking you. They might have been assigned to you. Jacob wrestled all night with an angel. Genesis 32. Fought until his hip dislocated. And in that painful struggle, he received a new name, Israel. His destiny required his breaking first. Growth feels like attack to an unhealed heart. Accountability feels like criticism. Truth feels like betrayal. Ask yourself, Has someone ever said something that made you defensive, but weeks later you realized they were right? Someone who saw through your masks, who loved you enough to be honest when others just nodded? The version of you after their sharpening will be unrecognizable, better, stronger, closer to who God designed you to be. But here's sign 3, and this is where most people get confused, because sometimes God's soulmate looks like rejection first. Sign 3, the divine delay. You met them before, maybe years ago, maybe in a different season. Wrong time, wrong circumstances. One of you wasn't ready, maybe both, and it faded, drifted, ended before it began. You moved on, told yourself it wasn't meant to be, filed them under almost, and kept searching. Here's the lie. If it was meant to be, it would have worked the first time. Real soulmates don't need second chances. God doesn't do retakes. No, God doesn't operate on your timeline. He operates on readiness. Sometimes he introduces you to someone, then separates you, because one or both of you needed more preparation. Think about it. Who were you 3 years ago? 5 years ago? Would that version of you have been ready for covenant? Could you have carried what you're praying for now? Ruth met Boaz during her darkest season. Ruth, too. She was grieving, broken, a foreigner in strange land. If she had married him immediately, she would have brought her unhealed wounds into covenant. But God gave her a season, gleaning, serving, healing. And when she was ready, when they were both positioned, God orchestrated the connection. That person who didn't work out? The timing wasn't wrong. It was protective. Stop. Think. Is there someone from your past who keeps coming to mind? Someone you dismissed because timing was off? Someone who felt right, but circumstances said no? What if the circumstances weren't blocking destiny? What if they were preparing it? Hold that thought, because sign 4 is the one that breaks people. It looks like the opposite of love, and most people run from it when they should lean into it. Sign 4, the absence that reveals. They stopped texting. Distance grew. Life pulled you apart. No fight, no closure, just fade. And something felt off. Not dramatic pain, not obsessive longing, just empty, like a room missing something you can't name. A frequency gone silent that you didn't know you were tuned to. Here's the lie you tell yourself. If I really loved them, the pain would be sharper. This dull ache means it wasn't real. Real love hurts more than this. Wrong. Trauma bonds scream. They're the relationships that felt like addiction, constant highs and lows, obsessive checking, panic when they didn't reply. Covenant connections whisper. Quiet, steady, easy to overlook. When someone toxic leaves, your nervous system panics. Withdrawal, obsession. That's not love, that's addiction breaking. But when someone aligned leaves, the ache is quieter, deeper, less frantic, more fundamental. Your soul recognizes the absence before your mind names it. Here's what most miss. You don't always know someone's value when they're present. Presence becomes invisible, expected, normal. It's absence that reveals weight. Adam was alone in Eden. Genesis 2, fulfilled, purposeful, working the garden. He didn't know he was incomplete until Eve arrived, and he didn't fully understand her value until she was made from his own side. Ask yourself, when they're not around, do you feel incomplete or just different? Not the desperate, I can't live without them. The quiet, something's missing, I can't explain. That's not weakness, that's recognition. The person you keep thinking about when you're alone. The one whose absence feels different than everyone else's. The one you've tried to forget but can't quite release. That might not be attachment. That might be alignment trying to get your attention. But sign 5 is the confirmation, the one that removes all doubt. And if you've experienced this with someone, pay very close attention. This changes everything. Sign 5, the spiritual alignment. You pray, they pray, not together, not yet, but somehow, about the same things, the same burdens, the same callings, the same kingdom concerns. Your paths keep intersecting in ways you can't manufacture. Your purposes overlap in ways you didn't plan. It's not romance, it's resonance. Here's the lie. We need to have everything in common. Same hobbies, same personality type, same taste in movies. Compatibility means similarity. No, compatibility is surface. Alignment is soul. God doesn't match personalities. He matches purposes. Your soulmate won't complete your hobbies. They'll complete your calling. They won't just share your interests. They'll share your assignment. Priscilla and Aquila, Acts 18. They weren't just married. They were ministry partners. They taught Apollos together, hosted church in their home together, risked their lives for Paul together. Their marriage wasn't about romance. It was about mission. Here's the test. When you imagine your future, your ministry, your purpose, your legacy, do they fit? Not romantically, spiritually. Can you see them beside you when you're doing what God called you to do? Not just supporting from the sidelines, standing with you, building with you. Do conversations with them drift toward kingdom things, purpose things? Do you find yourself talking about what matters eternally, not just what entertains temporarily? Amos 3:3 asks, "Can two walk together unless they are agreed?" This isn't agreement on pizza toppings. It's agreement on direction, on calling, on why you exist. When God aligns your soulmate, they won't just make you feel loved. They'll make you feel called. They won't just fill your loneliness. They'll fuel your legacy. All 5 signs point to one truth. God's soulmate doesn't arrive with fireworks. They arrive with alignment, peace that feels too calm, growth that feels uncomfortable, timing that seemed wrong, absence that revealed everything, purpose that matches yours. Not dramatic, divine. Someone just flashed in your mind. You know who. The one you dismissed as just a friend. The one you said wasn't your type. The one whose timing never worked. The one you've been trying not to think about. What if you've been waiting for someone God already sent? What if your prayers were answered years ago and you said no because the packaging wasn't what you expected? Don't let another year pass wondering. Don't let pride block what heaven arranged. Don't let your addiction to drama reject heaven's peace. Maybe right now, reading this, you feel a pull, a name, a face. Don't ignore it. That's not random. That's recognition finally breaking through. Here's what I want you to do. If this video opened your eyes, drop "I see it now" in the comments. That's your declaration. That's you telling God, I'm paying attention. Share this with someone who's been praying for love. They might be one insight away from recognizing what's already in front of them. And next video, what to do when you realize you've already met your soulmate, because recognition is step 1. What comes next changes everything. Your person might be closer than you think. They might be a text away.